esteemed principals, faculty champions of engineering colleges, a warm welcome to all of you. I think morning session நீங்கள் நிறைய கேட்டிருப்பீங்க. நான் முதல்வனுடைய நோக்கம் என்ன, இது எப்படியெல்லாம் செயலாக்கம் செய்ய போகிறோம், இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன் எல்லாம். ஸோ we have our esteemed faculty members here to analyze the problems of colleges. இப்போ இதில் வந்து one-sided மட்டும் இல்லை. நான் முதல்வன் is not seeking to replace anything here. We are trying to complement the efforts of the academia. இங்கே இருக்கக்கூடிய எல்லாருக்குமே வந்து more than 30 years of teaching experience கண்டிப்பாக இருக்கு, and you're doing amazing work in colleges. But ஏதோ ஒரு there is something that is a gap in between the industry and the academia. So that is what this Nan Mudalvan scheme is trying to bridge. So it is complementing the efforts of the academia to ensure that all students are employable. At the end of the day, end goal of any education system is to make a student more employable or to make him an entrepreneur, to make him அவருடைய வாழ்வாதாரத்தை அவரே வந்து முன்னெடுத்து செல்லக்கூடிய வகையில் பண்ணுறது தான் எந்த ஒரு நல்ல எஜுகேஷன் சிஸ்டம்னுடைய நோக்கம். ஸோ அதை தான் வந்து இந்த நான் முதல்வன் திட்டத்தின் மூலமாக காம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ இப்போ வந்து நம்ம கரிக்குலம் ரிவிஷன் அப்படின்றது வந்து மேபி we can do it every time the industry tells us, okay, your curriculum is outdated, come on, you have to change your syllabus. But ஆனால் அது we understand that even when the Anna University VC வந்து பேசும்போது என்ன சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்கன்னா, for curriculum revision there is a lot of procedure that is involved. நிறைய டெக்ஸ்ட் புக்ஸ் தேவை. ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் டெக்னாலஜியில் வந்து கரிக்குலம் ரிவைஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, ஐ திங்க் இட்ஸ் அ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கேஸ் இந்த ஆட்டோனாமஸ். பட் இங்கே வந்து இருக்கக்கூடிய சிஸ்டம் வந்து எல்லாத்துக்கும் அவங்களுக்கு டெக்ஸ்ட் புக்ஸ் வேணும். ஸோ இமர்ஜிங் டெக்கில் வந்து திஸ் இஸ் அ சேலஞ்ச், பிகாஸ் வி டோன்ட் ஹாவ் பப்ளிஷர்ஸ் கம்மிங் அப் வித் இமர்ஜிங் டெக்கில் இதுதான் டெக்ஸ்ட் புக் இதுதான் அப்படின்றது வந்து இட் டேக்ஸ் அ லாங் டைம் ஃபார் இட் டு பி பப்ளிஷ்ட் அஸ் சார்ட் ஆஃப் அ டெக்ஸ்ட் புக். இதெல்லாம் பேப்பர்ஸாக பப்ளிஷ் ஆகும், பட் பேப்பர்ஸ் வச்சு கரிக்குலம் வந்து மாடிஃபை பண்ண முடியாது. திஸ் இஸ் ஒன் திங் தட் வி ஃபவுண்ட் where Nan Mudalvan can create a placeholder. So this is an area where we want to create a sort of a bridge between what cannot be done by curriculum revision. So every time, இப்போ நான் முதல்வன் இன்னைக்கு மார்னிங் வந்து சிஎம் செக்ரட்டரி சொன்ன கொஞ்சம் கோர்சஸ் எல்லாம் மேண்டேட்ரி அப்படின்னு ஆக்கியிருக்கிறோம். இது எதற்காக அப்படின்னு நான் அதை திருப்பியும் சொல்கிறேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் சில கோர்சஸ் எல்லாம் நம்ம இமர்ஜிங் டெக்கில் இருக்கிற கோர்சஸ் எல்லாம் ஃப்ரீ அண்ட் பெய்டாக கொடுத்துருக்குறோம். ஸோ இது கொடுக்குறப்போ இந்த இமர்ஜிங் டெக்குன்னு நம்ம வந்து எதை வச்சு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணணும்னா, we've done a lot of round tables with the industry. Sector wise we've done round tables with each of the sectors, each of the industry we've done round tables. We've understood what the requirement is. Most of them in the technical requirements ellame வந்து we've built in and brought it here. ரொம்ப மேஜராக ஒரு ஃபேக்டர் சொன்னது வந்து சாஃப்ட் ஸ்கில்ஸ், கம்யூனிகேஷன் ஸ்கில்ஸ் தான் லேக் இருக்குது. நாங்கள் எப்போவும் வந்து ஒரு பிளேஸ்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ஒரு காலேஜுக்கு போகும்போது we are not so much interested in technical skill of the person, because அதை வந்து எப்படியும் நாங்கள் upskill பண்ண போகிறோம். Once they come in, we give them an orientation, there is an upskill program in our organization. But what we look at is adaptability. How willing he is or she is to learn new technology, to adapt to new technology. So இது வந்து ஒரு மேஜர் ப்ராப்ளமாக நம்மளுடைய ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இருக்கிறதா இண்டஸ்ட்ரி சொல்கிறாங்க. ஸோ how do we bring about this ecosystem in which our students get this sort of a mindset, entrepreneurial mindset ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Mr. Sivaraja, who is the next moderator for the next panel, he will be able to delve into the details of what an entrepreneurial mindset is. But that Nan Mudalvan system is all encompassing. Emerging tech கொடுக்குறோம், and we are also envisaging that our students get all this in one go. ஒரு bouquet of skills வந்து நம்ம அந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்க்கு கொடுக்குறதா நான் முதல்வனுடைய நோக்கம். இதுதான் மிஷன், லார்ஜர் மிஷன். பட் ஹியர் வி ஹேவ் அ போர்ட்டல் இன் விச் நிறைய ஆன்லைன் கோர்சஸ், இப்போ நான் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி பேசும்போது ஆன்லைன் கோர்சஸ், வை ஆன்லைன் கோர்சஸ்ன்றதை குறித்து நான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணேன். ஸோ எமர்ஜிங் டெக்கில் we have to skill them at scale. எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரே மாதிரியான ட்ரைனிங் கொடுக்கணும். இத்தனை 2.8 lakh ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் இன் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் இன்ஜினியரிங் காலேஜஸ் இருக்கிறாங்க, அர்பன்லேயும் இருக்கிறாங்க, ரூரல் பாக்கெட்ஸ்லேயும் இருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ அட் ஸ்கேல் நம்ம பண்ணணும் ஒன்று. ஸோ செகண்ட் சேலஞ்சஸ், எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரே மாதிரியான கண்டென்ட் ரீச் ஆகணும். கண்டென்ட்டோ இல்லை த ட்ரைனிங் பெடகாகியோ எதுவும் மாறாமல் ரீச் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா the one sure shot method is online training or digital model. And the other thing is it is a major disruptor. இப்போ நம்மளுக்கு வந்து something that's coming our way, whether we like it or not, this is going to be the future. Digital mode of learning is going to be the future. So therefore, universities, colleges will have to adapt to this mode of learning. So this is an area in which we'll have to focus more in detail. And mandatory ஆக்கணும் அப்படின்னா there's so many MOOCs platforms எவ்வளவோ இருக்குது. ஆனால் அதில் எல்லாமே completion rate is hardly 10% they say. So unless you give the student an incentive to pursue an online course, he or she will not do it. அதனால் கம்பல்சரியாக ஆக்கணும். சர்டன் எமர்ஜிங் டெக், சர்டன் இதெல்லாம் வந்து தெரியாமல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு நாளைக்கு போனால் the student is found to be unworthy for a particular job in that sector அப்படின்னு பார்க்குறது எல்லாமே நாங்கள் மேப் பண்ணி அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி ப்ரொஃபஸர்ஸ் மேப் பண்ணி அதெல்லாம் கம்பல்சரியாக ஆக்கியிருக்காங்க. கம்பல்சரி ஆக்கும் போது கண்டிப்பாக அந்த கோர்ஸை முடிக்கிறதுக்காகவாது அந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட் வந்து அதை பர்சியூ பண்ணுவாங்கன்ற அந்த ஒரு எதிர்பார்ப்பு தான். ஸோ எனக்கு முன்னாடி பேசினவங்கலாம் அந்த போர்ட்டலில் என்ன ஜேர்னி, ஹவு அ ஸ்டூடெண்ட் வில் ஹாவ் டு ஆன் போர்ட் ஹிம்செல்ஃப் எல்லாத்தையும் குறித்து பேசினாங்க. ஸோ நவ் யூ ஆர் ஆர் சாம்பியன்ஸ். யூ கோ பேக் அண்ட் யூ வில் எஸ்பவுஸ் திஸ் mission. You will be our ambassadors, the non-Mudalvan ambassadors in your own campuses, to ensure that all the youth become industry relevant and they become industry worthy too. So let me now start this panel by introducing our esteemed panel members here. We have Dr. Mrinalini, who is the professor and head of department of the Computer Science Engineering Department in SSN College. We have Professor Nagarajan, who is a professor of mechanical engineering with a graduate PG and PhD in internal combustion engineering with Anna University. He has a teaching experience of more than 33 years, and he is listed in the top 2% scientists by the Stanford University in 2020 and 2021. We welcome you, sir. We welcome you, ma'am. And then we have here another eminent person, who is Dr. Rajaram Venkatraman, the CEO of Whale Technology Business Incubator, deemed to be university. And he comes with a lot of teaching experience too. So thank you all the panel members for joining us here on stage. One very pertinent question that we would like to pose to you as part of the non-Mudalvan team. When we did all this delving into the details of how academic program can be done, was one thing that we were always very conscious of is that digital learning, how would it impact the students and how would they take on to the digital mode of learning. So have you seen any success story? Is there a success story in your college, madam? I would like you to respond.
As per this 2020, after this pandemic, we all follow this digital learning through various online platforms. Especially at SSN College of Engineering, we do have our own learning management system, Moodle platform. We host the learning materials through which students can learn. Also, we use a special platform called Panatapo, where video lectures will be hosted. Before start of the class, we will post the video lectures and then student will come prepared for the class. That's what the process we have used in the digital platform on learning mode. But there are success stories. The self-motivated students, self-driving students, they could able to manage, in addition to the curriculum courses, various other like whatever we have discussed right now, the skill development courses which is floated by so many digital platforms, especially MOOCs, Udemy, Coursera and so on. So we could see that especially during this pandemic period, a few of our students, especially in the computer science and engineering department, last year the placement, the highest pack is 1.27 crores per annum. That particular student, especially he learned this full stack development, whatever we were talking about in the morning session, full stack development, machine learning and AI through these online platforms. So I would like to say here our experience is, so far this digital training is really successful to the students who were self-motivated. And we do have the other side as well. Few students, whenever they are not self-motivated, there are challenges. As faculty, we don't have any feedback from the system, instant feedback from the students. So we are not able to assess how the students are acknowledging the concepts what we have taught. That is the feedback. Negative side of that. Apart from that, we do have sufficient platform in our college which is deployed for conducting the exams. Even for the lab examinations also, we do have the certain tools to organize the lab exams and so on. So the positive side is really many students have succeeded in that. The negative side of that is the attendance malpractice and the attendance system. Monitoring those things are very difficult for the teachers. Also, teachers, during the transition periods, it's difficult for the teachers to handle the video content, the whiteboards, and then talking to the students, evaluating how the students are accepting the concepts and so on. During the transition period, of course, we found a little bit difficult. Now, after 2 years, it's really good for us. And now, for the lab sessions, today also, in the computer science and engineering department, most of the lab sessions, still we are going ahead with the online platform, like Repl IT, sort of some platforms. That is my experience with respect to that.
Thank you very much, madam. And a quick reflection here. SSN is one of the top tier institutions of the state, and you get the cream of students. So yes, I think even when you were commenting about the MOOCs, you were saying the top students.
Yeah, yeah.
So here we are, Nan Mudalvan is dealing with students of all domains, belonging to, in every college there are slow learners, or maybe the competencies are different. So how do you think this is a challenge, and we can, Nan Mudalvan team can seek to overcome it?
Of course, there are challenges, but we could able to see in this Nan Mudalvan scheme, initially we need to do the psychometric test where we could able to identify the weak learners and the strong learners. And accordingly, in my opinion, we need to have a strong mentoring system. That is also a part of this scheme. That mentoring system, we can able to direct the student, whoever is once through the psychometric test, weak learners are identified. Accordingly, we need to mentor them or facilitate them how to carry on with the next course and so on. Similarly, for the strong learners also, we could able to recommend for the other type of courses and so on.
Exactly to the point, madam. This is what we have also envisaged, because that is why we've called the champions, the faculty champions here. They are going to be the mentors for those students. For sure. Thank you very much. And Professor Nagaraj, do you think there is an employability gap in our student community? If so, what is it?
Yes, certainly. Good afternoon, everybody. I am happy to be part of this panel. Yeah, I would like to share some of my experiences. I am in close contact with many industries, in particular automotive industries, where I get feedback from my own friends who work in automotive industries. And they used to tell us that some of the students are, technically they are good, but however, communication-wise, they are not so good. And in terms of communication, they feel that it is so bad, but technically they are sound enough. So I always used to say the teachers are the backbone of any institution, and teachers are going to play a very major role in shaping up and molding the students to come out as successful engineer, not only in terms of getting a graduate degree, but coming out as a real engineer, so who would be serving the society. I would like to quote one or two examples here, where I have a personal experience with one of my students who did his postgraduate studies in internal combustion engineering about 10 years ago. He was not an engineer when he joined us as a postgraduate student, but he was only an AMI guy who couldn't speak in English properly, and he always had an inferiority complex when compared to that of his own classmates. So this is where, if you look at Anna University curriculum, we used to have, as far as I know, for more than 30, 35 years, including postgraduate studies, we used to have a course called as the technical seminar. So wherein this technical seminar will provide opportunities for the students to understand on the latest technological developments in their particular area of specialization, in addition to making the teachers also to learn on the advanced technologies, because as an individual, we may not be able to read so many technological things, but by way of these technical presentations, and we can also learn a lot of things. So in that way, by having multiple seminars, we used to have corrective actions taking place where you find that including the senior level faculty members used to be a part of the technical seminar group, and where the faculty members will give a corrective action for where the candidates have made a mistake by way of presenting in a proper manner. So in this way, we used to have at least about 4 or 5 seminars as part of the course. And finally, we shaped up in such a way that, when we recommended him to one of the leading manufacturers of a fuel system in the country called as the UCAL Fuel Systems. And after 3-4 months back, I received a feedback from the industry stating that next time if you recommend a student, we would like to have a person like him, like Murugan. And his name is Murugan. And later on, after 6 months, seeing his technical capabilities, as well as his communication capabilities, he was sent to Japan for training for about 1 year to know about the latest technological advancements in the fuel systems area. And after coming back from Japan, he was put in charge of that particular product to be developed. So in this way, I think it is our curriculum design, right, which should play a very major role in shaping up the students. And not only that, though we talk about, bridging the gap, as far as I know, for more than 30 years, but only now I think it is shaping up. And probably what I always used to suggest my industry colleagues is that we know that in the engineering program, right, by the end of the 3rd year or probably the beginning of the 4th year, mostly all the placements get over. And we know that the industry's requirement will vary from one industry to another industry, depending on the industry is working on, is focusing on the manufacturing sector or probably on the service sector. And the requirement of the manufacturing sector and the service sector are going to be totally different. So once the placements are over across the whole state, probably each industry can group all these students. Now that, with online classes, I think they can train these students, probably starting from the 7th semester. Maybe it could be a 15 days program or probably a weekend program, and which can be carried over for a period of about 6 months. So by the time the students graduate themselves, and they are industry-ready engineers. So in this way, I think both the academia as well as the industry can work together in making the students to be industry-ready engineers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. You made a very relevant point on how industry can come into academia and train the students in relevant skills. What about upskilling for the faculty? Because though we come with a lot of experience, academic experience, aren't we limited to only the theory part of it, and we are not exposed to the actual industry? What about the faculty upskilling? What do you feel?
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning itself, that faculty members are the backbone of an educational institution. Definitely personally, I have an experience of working for an industry for about 2 years and 3 months. So I know what the industry's requirements are, and accordingly, the method of teaching, right, what I follow will be totally different. And it will be most of our faculty members in the university departments have the potential have the capability of enhancing the skills of the students. So that's what I said. I always used to say, even I used to talk to this whenever I address the industry people also, stating that there should be a sabbatical from both the sides. Like the teachers who are in various colleges, but I don't know how far it's going to work, and the teachers who work in educational institutions should have an industrial exposure. Those who do not have industrial experience, they should spend at least about 6 months' time working in an industry. And people who are working in the industry as engineers or senior engineers, they come to university. They should come to the university, spend about a semester, handle at least 1 or 2 courses. And that is how I think there should be a mix between the academia and the industry. And I think in the long run, that is going to really be, bridging the gap between the academia and the industry.
That's a very interesting exchange program that you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know how far it's going to work. But if you look at US university, I would like to add this. If you look at some of the universities in the US, they have, we have assistant professor, associate professor, and a regular professor. And in the US, some of the universities have what is known as the professor of practice. I think very recently our University Grants Commission has also come out with that about 2-3 months back, that we are going to have a similar model here, like engaging or appointing an industry person who has put in about 10 years, 15 years experience as a professor of practice, right, in an educational institution. So this is fast catching up with advanced nations.
So that's very interesting. We will take it up to the policymakers and see if it works.
It's going to take a long time, but I don't know how long it's going to take.
It will be a change maker in the coming times. Thank you so much. So what do you think, how do we make students more creative? Like right now we were talking about the entrepreneurial mindset. So transforming from job seekers to job creators, how do you think this transformation can occur?
Yeah, very interesting question. So one of the important things today, if you see India, the Global Innovation Index, we were ranking 81. And in the last 6-7 years, we have moved to 46. Obviously, this is not the position we should be proud of, right? We should be in the top 5. India was doing about 25% of world's GDP 400-500 years ago. We lost all those positions because of various reasons. Now, this is the time to bring out the innovation skills from the individuals. If you see the talent within our campus, I think there is tremendous untapped talent, exposed talent. So today the academic system is so bent on academic stuff, and there is nothing hands-on for them to really come out with and create by themselves. So that is where at Vailtech, for example, we have enrolled in an initiative called CDIO. It is a global initiative. We are one of the first ones in the country to enroll for that. Conceive, design, implement, and operate. So right from the first year, students are exposed to this initiative. So at least half a day every week, they get to come to the research facility and participate in CDIO activities where they take up some of the real-life challenges and try to come out with some products. That is the objective of this initiative. We, in order to ensure that we have sufficient challenges for them, we also have an initiative where we ask them to go to nearby villages. For example, around Avadi itself, there are so many villages. So those people who are interested in doing that, we ask them to go to the villages and meet the village people. And as a result, people have come back, we have understood their problems in terms of their disposable income and all that. People have come out with bio-toilets, pedaled washing machine, solar lights, Like that, small innovations they have brought out through this CDIO initiative. So one of the other things what we felt was we need to, if there is a 180 credit system at Welltech, at least 30 credits go to these kind of initiatives where they tend to create. Fortunately, we are one of the 5 or 6 in the country to have Nidhi Center of Excellence, one of the largest programs from DST on entrepreneurship. So we do have Idea to Prototype scheme, Nidhi Prayas. We have Meiti scheme, Entrepreneurship in Residence. We have Startup India Seed Fund. So both on the early stage, Idea to Prototype, even to create ideas, Entrepreneurship in Residence. So we have a complete range of programs which people are exposed to. And along with that, our credit system, the way it is structured, and the number of other programs what we bring about, like Sandai. Sandai is one of our unique initiative, where we ask the students to go to, like, we on a particular day, every year, Sandai day, the students go in buses, and they get dropped at T Nagar, Mylapore, Triplicane, all those crowded markets. They are given about 10, 12 items to sell and bring back the money and submit. And they also have to come back and relay how did they sell. Because some people kind of do a quick sale. Some people find a lot of struggles. So they tend to understand the empathy factor of what people look for, right? How do you sell? How do you market? They get all those concepts, and they bring back and relay what are the interesting experiences they had. And so a combination of all of these initiatives tend to bring that creativity and innovation. As a result, we see many of our students and then who became alumni, and they are doing some very good entrepreneurship, food tech initiatives, entrepreneurship. They have started the number of IP creation has crossed about 45 to 50. And the number of participation in conferences, we encourage them to participate in conferences, and they get credit. As a result, we were one of the 15 countries, 15 universities in the country to have been awarded the Innovation MBA IEV program earlier, 2 years back, which is to create entrepreneurship. The focus of this initiative is to come out as entrepreneurs. It is not about job seekers, it is about job creators. So as the previous gentleman talked about MVP, so we have a systematic creation of ideas. See, one of the things people say is only 5% entrepreneurs or 7% only succeed, right? So our objective is, right from the start, if you come out with a systematic method of creating the idea and attacking the right problems, we will be able to, and help them with the coaches and mentors, we will be able to create more entrepreneurs and more success. As a result, we have created, for example, the early stage of idea formation is where people face challenges. They don't know how to come out with that technology, how to create it as an app or how to create it as a workable system. First, from idea to POC, proof of concept. From POC to prototype, prototype to minimum viable product, and then scaling. So we have, fortunately, we have coaches, about 25 coaches and about 40 mentors, so who help in the early stages from idea formation to proof of concept to prototype to MVP. And we have VCs and angels who are involved in our ecosystem who help with the scaling of the entrepreneurs. So we have 260 startups already registered, about 50 more in pre-incubation, 45 plus IPs, 1,000 plus jobs created, and the valuation of our ecosystem today has crossed the $500 million mark because of the startups and their traction they have created. So our engagement with the industry is very high. We have one of the mechanical manufacturing center of excellence. We have all types of CNC machines. So people do a lot of certificate programs. They come and create something out of that from the Manufacturing Center of Excellence, from 3D printers. We have about 6, 7 different 3D printers through which people create keychains, gift objects, and various other stuff. We have PCB, fabrication lab, where they print a PCB as a course certificate. So all these are given credits and appreciation. As a result, we are able to create good traction, and we see some results there.
Thank you, Doctor. I think infrastructure is unlimited. I think all of you would agree with it. There are so many schemes and so much of infra that is available in our campuses. But the point here is how immersive learning can be given credits. That is a learning that we can take from here. And before we, I think so much of insight and experience we've had from the esteemed members here. Before we close, I would like to have a final comment on how Non-Mudalvan will impact the student community from each of the panel members, please.
Yeah, I think Non-Mudalvan, see the industry academia gap has been a problem for, let's say, 40, 50 years, like, or since the time we really started, getting traction. On the one side, technology is is undergoing dramatic shift. So as we speak, there are new technologies coming. There is a disruption. So when you talk about academia expecting something, sorry, industry expecting something from the academia in terms of job creation, jobs. I've been on the other side as well, on the industry side. The way we work, if you take Infosys, for example, when I used to be there, about this year, they will plan 30,000 people we are going to recruit from campuses, right? So then it is a 9-month exercise since the time they decide, and then they decide on what type of technologies are going to, how the pipeline is going to evolve, where are we going to deploy them. So it is all a very, projection game. So based on each individual units who give the requirements, things are projected. But by the time 9 months or 1 year, things would have dramatically changed. Whatever accounts, what wanted people, how many, all numbers will change, all types will change, right? So when they come to the campus and they start, expecting something, there are only certain common attributes, some differentiation attributes. So the common attributes, as we all talked about, those are fundamental stuff in terms of understanding the subjects, have a deep-rooted, control on the subject. Those are really tested. Some analytical things are tested. Their communication, soft skills are tested. So those are some of the stuff. And that itself, many of them, they don't do well. That is where some of the disconnect comes in. On top of that, they don't have any hands-on expertise. They don't have any grounding on how things work. So that is the way things are happening.
We have a paucity of time. Can you make that final comment on how Non-Mudalvan will impact the student community?
Very true. See, the Non-Mudalvan is one scheme where I see good traction, right? Though people have talked about it for long, this is one scheme where everything seems to be coming together and creating an impact. So I see good traction. So this seems to be a workable model where a large gap can be abridged with Non-Mudalvan.
Thank you very
Fantastic
much.
initiative.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Those requirements of industry, as I told you that, probably we can group the industry's requirements, or you can find out each industry's requirements, and you can have this as part of your other programs. Like you made a mention about the mandatory courses, certificate courses, so on and so forth. And these industries' requirements can be part of this. So wherein I said, you can bring industries virtually, right, to the students wherever they are located. So in that aspect, I am sure that this non-Mudalvan scheme, especially this massive upskilling program, is really going to take off, and which will benefit both. It will have a synergetic effect of benefiting both the industries as well as the students, ultimately for the benefit of the humanity.
Thank you very much, Professor. Professor Madnani.
Yes. So really this scheme has brought up the synergy between the industry and academia. As currently this professional readiness for innovation and entrepreneurship, that program is going on, we could able to see that students could able to learn all the buzzwords, the terminologies, the process, recent project management tools, everything, whatever is practicing in industry, they could also able to practice on that. Also, we could hear from the feedback from our alumni students. When we expose these schemes to the alumni, they really appreciate, saying that when they look for higher studies to the abroad universities as well as to the industry, if this sort of experience they would have given earlier, that will definitely boom their resume and they will be in the good place. So we could able to perceive that this is really a good scheme and it is progressing well as of now with respect to the professional readiness course, whatever we are pursuing now. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you so much, esteemed members, for joining us. Thank you very much for your insights. We will draw on your experience and we will make it more dynamic. The non-Mudalvan is open to a lot of experts' opinions, and we will draw from this and we will make it more dynamic. Thank you very much.